All right, everybody, welcome back. We are into a new month of the Cursed City. I'm looking at the hard mode here, and we are a few days into it. I attempted to get through all the stages I could so that I could record a video at the end of the harder stages to clear, showing how I did it. Obviously, varying levels of blessings and empowerment and things on a lot of the epic stages. So I tried to do minimal gear, minimal relics in terms where I even have some stages where I'm just not going to gear any champions as well. Try to make it as accessible as possible, but generally just trying to show off the strategy I use. The stages we're going to cover are S6, 7, 8, 13, 18, 19, and 20 in this video, so we will go ahead and finish up what I have not done and go over a few that I've already done as well. Going into the first one, we've got S6, which is the epic only stage, or I guess the rares as well. Key champions here, going to be Tagore. Got him just in a generic bolster set. This could be a shield set as well. Here are the stats I've got on him. Note that this could just be, it doesn't even need to be a bolster or shield set. I will note for all these champions, though, I do have the full Curse City area bonus from the live arena medals, so keep that in mind for any extra added stats that I might have. The next champion that I've got geared is the Negorio. Got him in a 6-piece Merciless build with the stats here. I will show the Curse City on, one of the damage dealers, but just note all of the stats that I'm showing have these green numbers added to them as well. And again, no relic. He is booked, but no masteries. Tagore, he is booked. Random golden elixir, no masteries. And then the other champion we're going to be using is the Creodan. These stats doesn't need to necessarily be that fast, just makes it a little bit easier. No relic, is skilled up, and I do have masteries because I used him in Fire Knight once upon a time. So going into the fight, I've only got these 3 champions geared. I've got Old Hermit just kind of there because, so you could gear him. You're going to gear him similar to Tagore, make him a little bit faster. He can do a little bit of things with some HP burn, so if you want some accuracy, otherwise not really required, just kind of fast and let him survive. And then Duck, I don't like Duck. I think he never does what other people are able to get him to do, which is, I guess, damage. So maybe I use him wrong, maybe I just don't put him in the right gear, but I don't particularly enjoy him, but this is probably going to be the choice for a lot of people, using him in here, obviously, with some damage gear, keeping him alive. Alternative choices, Taragi going to be a great champion as well. And Hotatsu, another good epic choice. Other ones I don't have built. So going into the fight, it's going to be relatively straightforward. The goal is stay alive while Creodan freezes everybody. And we're off to a good start. Go ahead and increase our speed. And then Negorio, other than this stage, I never use him particularly. He does a lot of damage because I'm about to smack everybody here for almost all their HP. Again, the Frozen champions are taking reduced damage. Now, I do wish that I had killed the Uko right there, because that's going to be a little scary, but Noguerio can go in 130k. Granted, he is a 6-star sold champion, but you don't need the 6-star sold to be able to clear the stage. So going in here, we're just going to finish off with some A1s to reset our cooldowns. The hardest part of here is probably going to be the Samsons. If you let them go un-CC'd, they are just going to counterattack and stun you the entire time. So that's why Creodan is in here. You want to make sure that he's keeping him CC'd, otherwise you're going to get stunned. Ideally, if you could have some resistance on your Tagore, that'll help you stay alive as well. The Uko, a little bit scary priority target to take out as well. Second wave, just going to freeze everybody. Got almost everybody. One champion alive here. Negorio's got the AoE back, so boom, take them all out. Again, never use this champion outside of this stage, but he does a decent amount of damage on the skills. We'll go ahead and just A1 the rest down. Get him there. We got the decreased cooldown with the Merciless, which is nice. Here, I don't have the AoE, so I can increase speed and fill turn meter. Champions that I'm prioritizing here are going to be Harvest Jack and then Morrigan. Morrigan can cause a little bit of a headache. I never really see the others doing it, but straight into the AoE and boom, don't even need to worry about it. If I had opened up with the freeze, it would have been even easier, and it's a quick walkthrough of this fight. And again, 2 of the champions, not even geared. So I'm going to pause, rebuild, and we'll move on to S7. All right, getting into S7, we've got the team right here. We've got Rector Draft, keeping the team alive, Basilisk for damage, Tylesia for damage. Two random champions that I chose aren't geared at the moment, but they could be. So Geomancer, just make him fast and accurate. Don't have anything special on him. Here are the relics and masteries. Tylesia, I've got a damage build on her, just 227 speed, not very fast at all. And just some damage built on there. No relic or masteries, but is booked. I've got the Aox, I think, on the team. No gear, no relic, just whatever. Some masteries on there. The Rector Draft, I've got in just a totally random build of kinda not anything. I guess a little bit tanky. And that's about it. No relic, is booked, and does have some masteries on her as well. Star of the show is going to be the Basilisk. I do have in 9-piece Slayer. If you don't have Slayer, go with Merciless. If you don't have Merciless of 6-piece, go with any Ignore defense set, maybe some Stone Skin on there. Relic, if you throw in a Ignore defense Relic, he's just going to kind of one-shot everything. Skills, Crushing Ren for the just first hit, doing extra damage. I don't even have a 6-star on him, and no masteries. So we're going to try to clear it with just these 3 champions geared. If we don't, we'll gear Geomancer, and then it'll be super easy. You know, maybe I'll auto-equip Geomancer just because I don't want to spend a lot of time on the easier stages. So there, we've got an auto-equipped Geomancer with these stats. So, going into the fight should be relatively simple. The first wave is actually quite annoying. You've got the counter-attacking Cupidus with the Venus right there, so there is going to be a counterattack, but you can see the Basilisk damage is just quite high. Rector Draft's only job is going to be able to keep us alive. I'm going to try to prevent the Cupidus from going, and Tylesia I'm going to use to take out the wave. I don't have anything back, but the second wave shouldn't be too terrible. Again, the A1 should take everybody quite low. Take everybody down. See if I can get the kill right here, and we do. And then attack all enemies again with Tylesia. Should be able to take most of them out. Doesn't particularly matter if the non-damage dealers are alive here, because they're not going to do too much to the team. The Yakarl freezing everybody might get you dead a little bit, but otherwise, take off the buffs from the Valkyrie. I'm mixing up games here. I don't remember what her name is. But we'll do the A1. Get that out of there. Basilisk, if he dies, not a big deal. His passive will revive him, which makes it quite nice. Take out the guy with counterattack. Heal up the team again. Basilisk didn't even die. If he would have died again, though, not even an issue, because he has a passive that'll bring him back. And also the revive from Rector will keep him alive and going well. Just A1 down the last champion here. And we'll move on to the final wave. Final wave, this guy can play some block damage. Not remembering his name at the moment, but Molly can be a little bit annoying. Probably take her out first. Just make sure you're not placing a ton of buffs with low resistance, because the torments will freeze you. That's why I like the Rector Draft, because under Veil, your team has extra resist, which makes it quite nice, lowers the chance of you getting frozen. So she'll paste that Veil, and if you're not aware, ally under Veil heals them and also increases their resistance by 50. So quite a nice skill. See if we can decrease attack the Trundle. We don't, but we do have the AoE. Take everybody down quite low. You can see the damage isn't a crazy high on these early S stages. The block damage comes out, not a big deal, because we just remove it with Geo. A1 down the rest of the team, and then Aox, I guess, gets a turn because he's got no gear on. Attack everybody else one more time. Basilisk coming in with another A1. Again, the revive for Molly is not world-ending because it's not even a full team revive. We do get frozen right there, which is a little bit annoying. So you always got to watch out for a tiny bit of that RNG. But again, it's not going to be that big of a deal in these early stages. And relatively easy to take them out with, again, 3 champions geared well, 1 half geared, and 1 with no gear at all. So that takes care of S7. We will move on now to S8 as soon as I finish gearing. All right, moving on to S8A, another relatively easy stage if you got the champions. Highly recommend you build 2 Dythes once you get 1 up to +4, or even if you just have a second copy. Don't empower the first one, just keep 2. They carry a lot of the Curse City hard stages, so you always want 2 of them. They will make some of the hardest stages in Curse City quite trivial. I've got a Duodin in the team just to kind of keep the team alive, be a little bit tanky. If you don't have the second Dythy, your Zargala is going to be an amazing damage dealer to throw into the team as well. Pan, again, I don't even have level 60, but he's in there just kind of ungeared, keeping the team going a little bit, I guess. He's got some decent CC and can pump some damage, I've been told, but I've never really built him that way. Alternatively, if you don't have any of those champions on the list, or I guess you need some of them to clear the stage, but Hofaries is going to be another great choice as well, being able to keep the team alive with some revives. But in terms of what we're running, we've got one Dythy in a Merciless build, nothing insanely crazy. No Relic, he is skilled up, and no Masteries. The second Dythy in a random damage build, no Relic skills, but he does have Masteries, I guess old Masteries, because he doesn't even have Helm Smasher. The Duodin, I hit auto-equip, it gave him this. He's got no Relic. He is booked, but he does not have Masteries. Zargala, again, has nothing. I would just build her in a damage build, take advantage of her triple hit, does a big, decent amount of damage, decreased defense, lets you do extra damage, and then instantly activate Crack Armor if the A2 kills somebody, so you get another one of these. So, quite nice. Highly recommend using her. Masteries, none on her. And then I believe we got the Pan. No items on him. Pan is quite nice. The way I build him usually is just fast. Can be able to freeze enemies. He's going to attack all enemies, but I mostly use him for increased attack on my other champions, along with the increased speed. Again, he does have some sort of damage capabilities here, so try him out if you do have him, and you might be missing one of the Dythies or so. But we're going to get into the fight, go over the S8 stage. First thing we're going to do for the wave, it can get a little tricky if you let Lydia go. Lydia will go debuff your team, and then you will get one shot by here. So we're going to try to have that not happen. Buff up our Dythy. Go in there, take out the team. We're able to take him out. Again, Dythy, practically a legendary champion. One of the just best champions in the game. Not like a top 20, and especially not in like PvP. But extremely, extremely good champion. Highly recommend using him any chance you get. The extra turns he can get, especially if you build in like a 9-piece Merciless, is insane. And he's just able to place decreased defense and just get one-shots going that really are kind of unfair. The extra turn RNG can let you go from just like totally struggling on a stage, potentially, to also just completely clearing the stage on the very next try, just because you get a few more extra turns. So it is quite crazy what he can do. We'll go ahead and take out the final champion here. Skills should be up for the next wave. You saw the only thing Duodin has done so far is place a taunt. And then the second wave, being quite easy. You do want to watch out for a little bit of the burns. We cleared it quite quickly, but if you let the burns get going, you can kind of tick down your team. Additionally, the Mortu can block Revive or just deal a decent amount of damage, so do watch out for that. Third wave I find to be way easier. Take out the Bellinor. He does some debuffs and some good damage. And then after that, the Delianas, I guess, can do some damage, and the other two you don't really have to worry about. So Bellinor, easy to one-shot. Deliana's passive is going to give you a Strengthen, but as long as you can take out at least one of them or two of them, it's not going to be too scary, even if they get the ally attack off. And then Dythy go in there again. Very, very straightforward stage. Next up, we will do S13 right after the break. Alright, we are back for S13. I said we'll be back right after the break. Knowing that there is no break for the viewer, I just simply paused on my end. Looking at the champions we are going to be using, Lauren the Cutter is the only stage I've ever seen this guy used, and only stage I ever use him. I've got him in these stats in a damage build. No Relic. He is booked. No Masteries. Venomage is going to be the main carry. Got him in a damage build. Looking at these stats, no Relic. He is booked, and really old school Masteries. In terms of the last champion I have geared is the Ugo in a bolster. Again, doesn't need to be bolster. Could be regen. Could be shield set. Just anything that's going to help keep the team alive. We got a decent amount of accuracy and resist for the stage, 300 speed, and then just some tanky stats on top. I do have a random wand on her. She is booked, and she does have, again, some older Masteries for the War Master. In terms of the other champions I'm going to be bringing, we've got Sanguina. She can be big help with a block debuffs and a heal, and also transfer debuffs and remove debuffs. So pretty good keeping your team alive. Again, no gear on her. And then Claude, Pretty good champion as well. No gear, but he's got shield and increased speed and accuracy. That's kind of be a little engine for the team. So we won't use it here, but those are some honorable mentions to use. Alternative champions, Hope, quite good. Talia, quite good as well. Have not tried. Siege Hulk also. I don't have mine built, but Siege Hulk can do some big damage in the stage as well. So it could be another DPS option. In terms of the first wave, this wave can be annoying if you let the Hackhorn get off his stuff. Hackhorn's got a big cleanse and heal, so what we're going to try to do is take him out. Venomage, again, just a crazy champion that can do a lot of damage. I don't think we need to do an attack all enemies here, so we're just going to attack the Hackhorn, take him out. The Regashes, they died to poison, but if they didn't, they wouldn't have done too much damage to us. Second one, I don't want Gurgo to freeze me, so we're going to try to take out the Gurgo. And then we should be able to with the attack all enemies from this Lorne. Again, he's placing a heal reduction, which is decent buff. I don't know if any of these guys heal, but Ugo keeping the team alive through the debuffs. I guess we're just going to take out some of the biggins here. Claude gets to go. We'll attack one of the enemies. Decent damage from the Lorne. Again, never use them outside of here. We'll save the A3. Go ahead, just take down the enemies. So not too much damage on the second one. If you let the burns get a little bit out of control, it can be quite annoying. But again, the Ugo heal, just one use of it is enough to keep the team going. And if you had the shield from Claude or anything as well, if they had gear or the debuff removal, would make it quite simple going forward. So that'll be a quick, easy wave 2. Wave 3 here, kind of a joke. Very easy to take down for the most part. The one thing you don't want to get going is if the two guys here, they get going, they can cleanse, they can poison your team. They can be a little bit annoying, but the main thing is just don't let them get going by taking out either the rest of the team around them or taking them out in one shot. One of them being left, not a big deal. You could see if they did get going, they got continuous heals. They're going to be a little bit tankier. Your whole team's going to be poisoned. They can slowly start to die. But again, you deal enough damage or you take out the supporting cast, and they're easy to single out. So that'll be S13 done. We are going to move now into S18. Be right back. Looking at S18, going to be relatively straightforward. Again, a lot of decent legendary options in this rotation, so Lemonisi can pump out some damage. You've got Rathlos, an old school login champion who's going to be quite good, and I can't believe I just called Rathlos old school. You've got Edward, who was a guarantee at one point, but most people probably don't have. Same thing with the Knave. Fusion of Maria, pretty good fusion to have gone for. I'm not going to use her in this particular stage. Just know that if you do use her, it'll make it quite a bit easier. I'm going to go with the original lineup that I normally use. Timit doesn't really need to be in this. Timit can just be anybody of those options I just talked about. He could be Pan. He could just be any of the other champions. So he'll do a little bit of work in here, but again, he's not necessarily required. The main carriers are going to be Dithey. You got the Husk and Duoden, so there's a decent amount within the team. Dithey builds, I'm going to show again just because they've changed since I last built them, because I was unbuilding and rebuilding some champions. Apparently this Dithey is going to have 165 speed. We're going to go with it and see if that even works. I've got the Husk in a bolster build, and it looks like he lost his boots at one point, but we've got about 300 speed, as much damage as I could get, and then enough accuracy for him to land his stuns. Going no relic, he is booked, and he's got old masteries. We showed the Dithys. The Duoden has kind of slightly changed. I'll show just what he's on right here because I don't remember what I showed earlier. And then the Timit being a new champion, got him in a hybrid damage set, 300 speed, enough accuracy to land his stuff. Random build, no relic. He is booked, and then he has normal masteries for what you might expect on him. So you could alternatively have the accuracy one if you're struggling for that, but we'll get into the fight. The first wave can be a little bit annoying if you let the Emic get his unkillable off. It's no fun. We're going to place a True Fear on the enemies just to reduce the chance that they can go. You really want Elva to be stunned initially, or she can cleanse everything. We'll go into the damage from the Dithey. Again, if you land with Dithey's A2, the decreased defense on everybody, you get an extra turn. I'm going to use that to take out the Emic. Then we'll just do some damage to the Elva. And again, I can use my Emic, or Timit, to clear out the rest. Now, for this wave, if you do struggle to it, very easy thing here. put 3 of your champions in Stone Skin. It does not matter what champions are in Stone Skin. Could very easily be all the champions that aren't Dythy. Could easily be Dythy. If you do that, the Hegemons will not use that ability right there. So you can take the RNG. Luckily, we only got one person with block actives here. But if you don't want to take the RNG, put the Hegemons to rest by just 3 Stone Skins. They won't use that ability, and then it makes the wave significantly easier. So we'll go here. The Georges are going to be the main thing to deal damage, so try to provoke one of them, maybe take out another one if we get some extra turns. We will not, so we'll go ahead and place a taunt. That'll protect us from some of the damage dealers that are going to be going. Timid, again, just going to be doing some random damage in here. And once Hegemons use their initial ability, really, they're not that scary. So I'm just going to take out the Georgids, go with my other Dythy. He does a lot more damage, but he's only like 150 speed. Again, just chain the RNG of the extra turns. That allows me to literally take out almost the entire wave. I'll take out the Mother Cybele. Just kidding. Just kidding about that. Just kidding. We'll take out the final Georgid. And then once it's down to the 2 Hegemons, or even just the 2 Hegemons plus the Mother, very easy to clear through that wave. Mother can be like deceptively annoying if she's dealing a decent amount of damage to your team kind of slowly over time if you're struggling to kill her. And then the third wave here going to be quite easy. Never had a struggle with it. We're going to use the True Fear here for the Timid. Stun them because we've got our abilities back. Dythy can go, and that'll be the wave gone as soon as we use 2 more abilities. 1, 2. Boom, got the crit. So relatively straightforward stage. S19 now. This is going to be where it actually starts to get a little bit hard. I'm going to gear the champions and go over my strategy for this stage in one moment. Alright, we are back for S19. This is going to be probably the hardest stage that we do. I might be lying. S20. S20 for me, a little bit easier. S20 probably is the hardest of this rotation. If you're missing 2 of the champions, we'll talk about later. But my strategy for here is kill Marichka with these 2, and then the rest of the team hopefully doesn't die. We've got a few builds here that actually kind of matter, so I'm running both. You don't necessarily have to run both. You could run Fodar, Fod, or whatever the heck his name is. He's got a stun on there, which people are using. He's got also a decreased defense, lets you one-shot smart people. Seeing him in a lot of different teams. Also seeing Rockbreaker in a bunch of the teams as well. In terms of my team, I've got both an auto-equip build with no relic or masteries, though he is geared and skilled up with these stats. In terms of the Morag, her build is going to be quite important. We do need 1 turn of Stone Skin on her and as much damage as we can possibly get. No relic. These skills hit the wrong button. And we've got the no masteries on her. I am seeing I did upgrade her to a 6-star at some point, so I'm going to take her into the good old Crushing Rend from there, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. Kinagashi, keeping the team alive, okay speed, resist to make sure that it doesn't get stunned. Survivability after that. I've got him in a bolster set. And that is going to just be keeping the team alive. Could obviously be a shield or just a regen. No relic. Skilled up, but no masteries. Fane, again, the other one that matters. You do want 4 pieces of Stone Skin on her and as much damage as possible. Got her in this build right here. If you throw an Ignore Defense Relic on her, this becomes extremely easy. So not running one just for gear's sake. Random Phantom Touch on her if I had the 6-star. Be Crushing Rend every single day. Skilled up and old masteries, be running Helm Smasher if I could, and by if I could, I mean if I was not lazy to hit 1 button. Gnarlhorn, again, also important. He's kind of the secret carry of this team, just fast and accurate, and that's all you really care about. No relic, he is skilled up. He does have, I think, crit damage from when I was running him in Shogun, but the main thing you want him for is to provoke the entire enemy wave, and you want him to be able to do this every single wave, so you do need him as fast as you possibly can get him. So we'll go into the battle, and I will show off my strategy. Obviously, if you've never seen this wave before, if you hit Marichka, who is this person right here, the Tarasas will A2, which is a big single target nuke, and a stun. It's very annoying, will one-shot your champions. If you hit Marichka while you're under Stone Skin, they're not going to die as fast. So we can go ahead and provoke this wave. We can go up and team attack into the Marichka with the Kinagashi. Again, I don't think she's going to die with the A2s from the Taras. If she does, just reset and don't do that. But I'm going to go for it because I don't think she's going to die. 1, 2. She didn't die. Fane, up next. I think you probably want Morag to be faster, but we're going to go with the Fane, open up with the A3 for the decreased defense and the weekend into the Marichka. You can see that almost kills her. And because of the stone skin, she survives. And then we don't even need to use the ally attack here because she's almost dead. So we're going to use the all attack, kill the Marichka. Her stone skin lets her survive. And after this, pretty straightforward. We got the decreased accuracy from both, but we've also got a remove. So we're going to use the decreased accuracy on the enemy here. We're going to go ahead and just attack into the Stultus. Again, the Stultus can actually do a decent amount of damage. I usually take them out second while continuing to provoke the Tarasas. Alternatively, you could take out the Tarasas. I just usually take them out last because they're so slow to take down that I just find it easier to remove the damage of the Stultus first. And you can see Gnarlhorn almost back to that provoke again. We're going to ally attack here to make sure we can take him down, which we do. There's a little bit of RNG of who gets involved in the team attack from the Morag. It's 2 random allies. So you can just kind of restart as needed. We're going to go again here, take out some of the health on the healer, remove some debuffs. Don't think we need to. So we can just go with the A1 heal reduction. We're going to get some damage from the Tarasas, but again, with no buffs, they don't do a ton of damage with the A3. So it's not incredibly crazy to worry about. I don't think we need to use the Gnarlhorn ability here, so we'll just continue taking out the healer here. Again, that A3, very little damage with no buffs. Go ahead and continue trying to take her out. Attack all enemies again. That strengthened, keeping us alive quite well. Also, the negative affinity is very annoying. Gnarlhorn died, doesn't really matter because we can revive him, obviously. Just use the unkillable if you have it. That dying is a little bit annoying, so we're going to reset and come right back here. I'm playing a little bit loosely, so obviously don't let that happen. Right, through the power of pausing and unpausing, we are back to roughly the same situation. Only thing that is different this run, exact same beginning, I did use the Bulf A3 to kind of heal the team up a little bit, and then I did use the Gnarlhorn provoke again because it does take so long to kill the Tarasas. You can risk running it twice on this wave right here, and it won't be a big deal. We're going to go and continue taking out the healer. Again, if Gnarlhorn dies, not a big deal. If Kinagashi dies, kind of a big deal. I did troll a little bit by having her take the double hits at the beginning, so obviously just don't do that, and then you won't have so much damage done on her. But otherwise, once you get to the Tarasas again, the A3 does so little damage, you don't really have to worry about it, and he's going to spend so much time just between the provokes and getting the A3. He's not really going to get off the A2, which is the nuke you're worried about, so we'll go ahead, kill the first Taras. Should have built some accuracy on my Fane. Would have made this a lot easier. I don't know how much accuracy I have, but apparently not enough for this Taras. We'll go ahead, keep the team healed up again. We're going to save that revive because I think the Gnarlhorn's good to die in a second. Yep. And you can take out this Taras relatively easily, and then once one of the Tarasas is down, it's kind of free mode. Revive both of them up. For some reason, I thought she revived 2 people. Maybe I'm losing my mind. We'll get the unkillable up, and we'll just A1 here to get some cooldowns back. So this is kind of just like a bad run, but Fane not being alive is not going to be the worst thing, although it is quite annoying going into the second wave, but hopefully the cooldowns come back in time. Getting a decent amount of A1s off. So only one more turn waiting on that revive. We'll kill the Taras right here to move on. Second wave, luckily the second wave is pretty giga easy. You just provoke it. Alright, not provoking that guy there is kind of annoying, but hopefully we can kill him off the bat, or at least decrease his turn meter enough to where it's not an issue. We'll go again with an ally attack just to get as much damage on him as we possibly can. Decrease accuracy because I don't want him to burn me, assuming that he is going to get a turn off in a second. Which it looks like he is going to. Everybody attacking the Gnarlhorn should be fine. We've got the revive on the Fane. Don't know why she got stunned there. Might be a passive of one of these guys, but then we can do the attack everybody, heal a little bit, remove a debuff. First thing I always take out is the Fire Lizard, because he's got a revive, and the burn is quite annoying. Second targets are going to be the Croc Mars, I believe is their name. They are, again, quite annoying with a decent little bit of AoE. The other two champions don't even know what their name is, and they don't provide much of a threat other than some damage and some stuns occasionally. So again, we are seeing the worst possible outcome of taking out this wave here. Usually it's much faster if you play semi more intelligently and you have at least some semblance of relics and gear. So this is a pretty worst case scenario run, and we'll probably still get through it. Again, we've got a revive coming up in a second. Just gonna focus on taking out one of the Crocs. A little bit annoying if Morag dies, but again, it is what it is. Once we get one of them down, it should get a lot easier. Probably gonna revive the Morag here. She was doing a decent amount of damage. That stun passive is actually a little bit annoying. Let's see, maybe take out one of the Crocs, please. Thank you. Team attack here into the other Croc. A little bit of damage. We're gonna lose the Morag. We'll see if Kinagashi can carry this through, and if not, then I'm gonna put a relic. Oh, get blasted. Alright. We're gonna put a relic on a champion, and I'll show you how much it changes things. Alright, I'm putting a Cat's Gaze on Fane. Fane also has no accuracy, so I'm going to add some accuracy, because that was getting a little bit annoying. This does go to show that this stage is actually, like, somewhat hard to deal with. It's not a walk in the park kind of free every single time, but with the right gearing it will be. We'll see the added damage of this Cat's Gaze right here for S19. I swear this is the final run for sure. Open up with the Provoke. I'm not going to be stupid this time, so we'll just attack into a Taras. The Morag going first is much better, so removing some speed on Fane ended up helping. Take down the Marichka as much as I can. We didn't get lucky with the Fane. However, look at the Fane damage. Boom. Able to take her out with the A3. And then the rest of the wave will be quite straightforward. Take out the Stultus next. And it's going to be a rehash of the healer and then the double Taras. We have the ally attack this time. Unfortunately, Fane did not go in there. Fane being the highest bit of damage again, gonna, with that Cat's Gaze, be able to one-shot a lot of people now. Especially when the A3 is up. We're gonna heal the team here, remove the buffs just because I can. Focusing on the healer once more. Again, that A3 from the Taras doing such a little amount of damage, it's kind of a joke. Provoke again, because it should be up in time. Because killing the Tarasas is a bit annoying. Taking that out with the newly added Cat's Gaze. A1, again, not going to be doing too much. Gnarlhorn might die, but that's totally fine. I'm going to do the highest health Taras here with my A3 on Fane. You don't necessarily need the A3 up for the second wave for any reason, so it is totally fine just to use it. We are going to A1 the rest of the time, though, just to make sure we get our cooldowns up for the final wave. Again, if you add a relic on the Morag as well, going to make it significantly easier. And then you can see that the A2 from the Taras, you do actually kind of have to worry about it. It is a little bit scary. Outside of that, he's doing like 10,000 damage, if that, between the A3 and his A1. So really, really do you have to worry about it? Probably not. So we'll take out this final Taras here, and then we'll move in. We don't have the Provoke for the wave, which is a little bit annoying, but really we only need to take out Fire Lizard, and we're good. Hopefully we get Fane going in there, or not. Hopefully we get Fane going in here, which we do, so that should kill after the Fane goes pretty easily. There we go. We can decrease accuracy on everybody here. They'll do the double AoE, and that's after the double AoE, that's kind of all you have to worry about here. I said that they triple AoE us. But we should have the revive up, hopefully in time. Heal the team. Please don't kill. For this run, we've added a relic to Kinagashi. And I'm just going to pause and go to the second wave again because we've seen it too much. All right, through movie magic for like the 50th time, we are back on this wave. And I've provoked them all this time with everybody alive. So turns out playing Curse City back to back to back on some of the more annoying stages makes you play a little bit loose. And I'm just throwing over and over again, but locked in on wave 1, and now we are in a significantly better spot in wave 2. You can see if you get the provoke off, suddenly the wave is extremely easy because you're not taking 4 AoE hits. You are going to take 0 in the first bit. That'll let you take out the Croc Maws. And once they are down, then you're really only dealing with the Lightning Lizard, and the Lightning Lizard is not as scary as Crocodile Lizard. We're going to take out the bigger health one here with the A3. Heal up the team as much as we can. Go for the second Croc Lizard. Get a few stuns off. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Again, if we can kill the second Croc, which unfortunately we don't. Luckily, most people survived. Do I revive the Gnarlhorn? I'm going to ally attack down this Croc first. Save the revive. Get the strengthen out. I think Morag's going to die here, which, again, totally fine. As long as these guys are left, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to revive Gnarlhorn now so I can get that cooldown running. And it looks like they do have a passive where if you revive, it does stun somebody. I don't think I've ever come across that in any of these stages, so good to know. Good to learn, I guess. If Fane dies there, it's a little bit annoying. I'm going to provoke here just so we can slowly A1 them down. The most annoying part, obviously, even through that first wave, the fact that you are all spirit and they have some magic and you're just kind of weak hit city, so we do what we can. I don't want Fane to die here, but I think Fane might unfortunately die here, and then we'll have to choose who to revive when going into the next stage. That's totally fine. I think we revive the Fane. And again, it's going to take so long to just A1 down this frickin' thing. We might get the second revive off, which would be crazy. We'll provoke just for the sake of the fact that I think we're going to be going through potentially a whole nother round of abilities, so A1ing them down for 10 million different A1s is going to be fun. Of course, we're going to get 2 crits there. Heal up as much as we can going into the next wave. We will have the provoke up I just saw, so not that big of a deal. Reduce turn meter again. If you build Kunayashi a little bit better with some accuracy and a little bit faster, you're not going to be worried about this as much. So the final wave, again, this one, it is quite annoying because you can't necessarily go straight with the provoke. If you do, the Jingwong passive is going to screw you over quite a little bit. That's why this wave is I don't want to say like second place to that Taras wave here, just because you have the one provoke. You do have some really, really annoying champions in the next stage we're going to look at, which reminds me, I've got a whole other stage to do. But the play here is just take out the Jingwong as fast as possible, and then once he's down, then we can provoke. And if you see here, if you're fast enough, you get the provoke out, and it's free game, which is going to help us carry the stage. The ignore defense reduction from Harima, again, is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. As long as you're able to get that provoke off, you can bring another champion with CC. That's probably going to be the easiest option, is if you bring any champ that has CC, make them faster than the Gnarlhorn. You can do a single target CC over on the Fox guy here. That's going to trigger the Jingwong passive, and if the Jingwong passive triggers, then you can use Gnarlhorn to provoke, and it's going to be pretty easy mode from there. Now, we are going to get Harima'd, which is going to be annoying, but again, with bolster or a shield set, it does not do anywhere near the amount of damage you see from, like, a PvP Harima or anything of the similar. So we'll take out one of them. Obviously, leaving Yumiko for last is just the best idea, because she's not doing much throughout the entire fight. And even though Gnarlhorn died, pretty easy first attempt at this wave. So the most important thing is that provoke. If you can't get the speed right to where you're going, or like, I think it's like minus 375. If you can't get that speed right, Jesus Christ, that took 7 minutes and 43 seconds. Then you want to bring a single target CC. So from here, instead of the Bof, I think it was this guy. He's got a stun, make him faster. He's going to stun somebody. You'll proc the Jingwong passive, and then you can provoke with Gnarlhorn, and that'll make the wave quite easy to go through. I'm going to re-gear. We've got one more stage in this godforsaken 40-minute video after that stage, so I'll be right back. All right, we've got everybody built for S20. I am going to say I think this is, even after that train wreck of a previous stage, the hardest stage of this rotation. I hate this version of S20, specifically if you are missing Excruciator and Horden, and not only missing them, but if you don't have, like, decent soul on them, this stage just sucks. I don't like it. Maybe it's just me that's very impatient. You saw on the last stage I try to play fast, and then it screws me over, and I waste 20 minutes of time rather than just taking a 7-minute run and taking my time. So these guys are quite important for this build. If you are not going to be running them, say you're missing both of them, you've got Tagore, double Allure, you're probably running the Archmage, and then you're probably running like a Duck. I envy the person who enjoys running that. So we're not going to be running that, but the strategy, if you do run that, is, from what I did do it a couple times before I got the Horden and the Excruciator. You've got damage, but hybrid allures so they can get the sleeps and decrease turn meter out. You've got this guy just fast and constantly stunning people. Duck has to be your damage, and Prey Tagore can keep the team alive. You can also use an old Hermit for that. So the strategy we're going to be using is a little bit different. Tagore, his job is the same, keep team alive. We've got a bolster set, could be shield, could be regen, just anything to help him stay alive and not die. These are all new builds, so I'll show this right here. We've got the Excruciator, who's going to be in a damage build as much as we can possibly get. No relic, and if we fail a bunch of times, I will go double relic on these guys, because I hate this stage so much. Obviously, if I could run the masteries, would go through down to Helm Smasher. Same thing with Horden. I do have him booked. No relic at the moment. And we've got these stats on him going into the fight. And the Allure, one of them I built in just like tanky, fast, and accurate. And the other Allure, a little bit of damage, but also the same rough amount of speed and accuracy, just so you can kind of see how they operate. And then relics and masteries for each one. No relics on either of them, both skilled up. One has masteries, one does not. So going into the stage, I'll show you why it sucks. And the third wave is actually going to be the easiest wave. So first wave, why does this suck? Panda was buffed. So Panda is going to be doing Enfeeble. He's going to be taking debuffs away. He's going to be decreasing speed. He's going to be doing, I think, some shielding and healing maybe as well. Very annoying. These two reindeer-looking guys are going to randomly just do a bunch of AoEs. I have never read their passive in my life, but it's annoying when it starts happening. This guy over here going to be provoking your team and just kind of being generally quite tanky. And then Snicktrack, who's the one champion I do know other than Bambus. Snicktrack, shield, some debuffs, but also reflect damage. So if you nuke this guy, you get nuked as well. And we'll see that a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead here, go with the increased speed. I want to get the decreased defense and the sleeps out. This makes it much nicer. Then I can go one at a time, taking out champions. Going into the Snicktrack first. You can see I took about half my health there. I want to split the damage on the Snicktrack. However, I do need to take out the Panda here first as well. I'm going to try to take out the Panda, and we'll see if we can get the one shot. Obviously, we don't. So then we're going to go here and take out the Panda with that block revive. And then the second Allure, also not able to take him out, but that's why we got a second sleep. So we are able to take out here. You do want to spread that Snicktrack damage out among your team. If you do it all with one champion, like I didn't attack with the Horde in there, it's just going to lead to some bad time. So we're going to A2 with the Horden, deal a decent amount of damage. We don't get an extra turn there. I'm going to take out this guy's next. So A1, nobody's really close to death. And then I can go, now we're going to start decreasing some turn meter with the damage allure. And we're just going to go here and A1, get an extra turn. And we'll go A1 again. This guy, if he gets some provokes off at this point, I'm not too worried. Trust me, if you don't have the Excruciator and Horden doing those big damage hits right there, this wave sucks. Because you do need to take out, specifically the Panda is, my opinion, the hardest to take out. or the hardest hit to deal with if you let him go. Snick Track second, and then usually the two edge guys, and I leave the Mr. Provoker for last, just because he's the kind of the tankiest, so he's hardest to take out, in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people will have different ideas of how to approach that. Why does this wave suck? If you don't have damage on this wave, these two guys' passives as they get hit is going to heal the rest of the team, and they also get unkillable when they get low health. So you've got two people taking damage, so if you do any AoE into them, these other three are just going to be full health the entire time, and they're going to be healing each other as they're getting damaged in AoE form. Plus, when they get the unkillable out, then they're going to heal each other off if you're like focusing one down. If you start AoEing another, he's going to heal himself back up with the passive. So this wave sucks if you don't have a lot of damage. If you're playing that helmet version that I spoke about a few minutes ago, I don't know how you deal with this wave. Other than you got to be the patience of a saint to get through it, because genuinely I hate it so much. They barely take any damage. You can see we've done a AoE hit. Everybody's full health except for this one guy right here. So good news is we can practically one-shot with the Horden. He gets the unkillable. I don't think we have an ignore unkillable here. And what we can do is just take out one of the other enemies. So we'll go ahead, try to not weak hit here. Unfortunately, we don't get the kill, so hopefully we go again before we do. Boom. Nope. This should take him out. Boom. Yep. I want to avoid hitting this guy because I want this unkillable to go away so I can take him out. Now that I can take him out, then I can start focusing on the other one, and this will be the next target. So you want to avoid healing the second one well the other one still has unkillable, otherwise you're going to start chaining the heals again, and it's going to get really annoying. Once one of them is dead, not too bad, because you can go get the unkillable proc on the second one, and then start working on the enemy. You can see buff removal here, quite nice. Block buffs would be quite nice as well, but I've got enough damage to where I know I don't need it. If you don't have enough damage, you're going to have to go that alternative route of just a really slow chip down of those guys. But once they're down, the Grazzers, so much easier to clear this wave. The Allures, they do make it quite hard because you're spreading out your damage, so this wave specifically, if you're using like the double Allure strategy, it's just very difficult because your damage is going to constantly be healing the enemy. So we'll go here, take out these guys, not going to be that bad. I do want to use something. Nah, we'll skip it. This guy's counterattacking a lot. It's kind of scaring me, but Tagor's got to revive, so I'm not too scared if somebody dies. I guess we'll do one sleep. They've got block debuffs. A2 here, maybe we'll get the kill. Not a kill, that guy's quite tanky. Reduce some turn meter. Hopefully take this guy out. Nope. Now, hopefully take him out. Nope. He healed. Allure died. Not that big of an issue. I'm trying to save abilities here, and it's just making me die. Obviously, you could just use some abilities, and it would be nowhere near as dangerous. So we're to the last enemy. Now it's not going to be a problem. Just A1 with cooldowns, and it'll be good even if one of the Allures dies. I'm not worried. The third wave, again, is so much easier than the first two waves. And I know the second wave looked easy, and the first wave looked easy because of the +4 Hoarded and the Excruciator. I promise you it's not if you do not have them. So we'll open up here, get the sleeps out. Get the sleeps out, hopefully. Target here for me. You've got the UDK, but the double hit's going to go through, so I'm going to go UDK into the Siffy. This is just going to hit the UDK, that's fine. We block revive him, which is what I want. I don't want him coming back. Then I'm going to focus the Siffy next. Try to take her out as fast as possible. She's a little bit annoying to deal with. You can see, again, these Rhodoses, they're not PvP Rhodos. They aren't doing the amount of damage that he can do. And when Horden is available, you want to use him to take out the Rhodoses, because he's got the double hit, so he's not going to be triggering their passives to come back. If you use Excruciator into him or somebody with a big single target, it's obviously going to trigger the passive, and it does become a little annoying because Rhodos, the one ability you can tank with the shield set, if he does get rolling or multiple of them are getting extra turns, they can kill your team. So not that big of a deal, but you could see here, just trying to keep the passive of him losing 50% HP out of the way, and then that becomes a relatively easy kill from there. So the double hits from Allure, although terrible, terrible, terrible on the second wave, quite nice on this wave as well. And 7 minutes, but it felt a lot easier than the previous stage because of Horden and the Excruciator. Alright, apologies if you heard a dog barking very quickly in the background. I tried to pause it. Maybe he got a bark out. Oh, but that's the end of the Cursed City right there. I can't even remember what I was talking about. I had to go make my dog not bark. So, we've now cleared all the stages that should be all the hardest stages within the Cursed City for this rotation. Again, S19, a little bit annoying, but if you play smart, not as terrible. S20, I think is the hardest of this rotation, specifically without these two. I hate doing it. It's probably my least favorite stage in all of Cursed City with these two. Honestly, not bad at all. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you really like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. I've been Nimager, and I'll see you next time.